Because he's nowhere near the athlete of Justin Fields. We know that Arthur Smith is like, this dude knows how to architect a running game and utilize the skill set of a guy like Justin Fields. Russell Wilson, to me, needs to be good, like really good throughout the whole season. Otherwise, give me the upside of Justin Fields.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are not what anyone thinks, and there are rumors that are slowly starting to heat up about a potential superstar being traded to them that I'm going to talk all about. But even if nothing happens, I still think the Steelers are set up to have a crazy season in 2024. So in this video, I'm going to talk about everything going on with this team, with OTAs and minicamps over, what we learned from them, and everything else. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 30k subscribers, and with your support, I believe we can get there super fast. Alright, so starting off with the trade rumors I was talking about, the guy that's been involved with rumors that are starting to heat up is Brandon Aiyuk. He's been a guy that's been involved with trade talks for a while now, with the Niners still not extending him. And he even took the 49ers out of his social media bio. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, the trade market has ramped up in recent days, and we could see a trade in the near days to come. This is what Fowler had to say. The 49ers had some trade opportunities around the draft, and I think there are other teams that are willing to pay Aiyuk what he wants. I do believe that. Maybe not a first-round pick, but I think they would do it under certain circumstances. And Fowler isn't the only one reporting this either. When it comes to a more Steelers perspective, the guys from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette had this to say about the Steelers' interest in the San Francisco wide receiver. There are legs to this. I had a source within the Steelers tell me this back in March, that this was a thing and that there was some interest in Brandon Aiyuk. I think it's more of a talk show type of thing. I was told that there was some interest on both sides 4 months ago. It hasn't happened yet, but that doesn't mean it won't happen before the start of the season. Now, when it comes to these most recent reports, I have a couple of takeaways. Number one, teams out there are definitely willing to pay for Aiyuk, but you know, a first round pick is going to be a bit much for them. I think that maybe a second round pick, maybe a couple second round picks might be more of a price tag for Brandon Aiyuk. Especially because whichever team trades for him, they're going to have to pay him that $30 million per season contract. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that, but it's really just a scenario, so I don't want to spend the whole video talking about it. So moving on, you have to appreciate the aggressive approach the Pittsburgh Steelers front office took to the quarterback position this offseason. The team cut ties with Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and Mitchell Trubisky, and replaced them with Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and Kyle Allen. But the Steelers might have painted themselves into a corner with the quarterback contracts and could force them to break their own rules on negotiating a contract extension with Wilson. The Steelers' rule is, once the season starts, contract negotiations end, but this might not be good enough this season. The Steelers have to know if Wilson can still play before they commit to him financially. Wilson is a borderline Hall of Famer, but he didn't act like it in the last 2 seasons. The Steelers would be wise to put aside their typical rule about contracts and give Wilson a few games to see if he can play well in this new Steelers system. And while Wilson is going to be the starter to start off the season, people have been talking and speculating this whole offseason about what Justin Fields' role will be with this team. It even got to the point where he was going to be a kickoff returner, but those rumors got shut down very quickly. But it was hilarious seeing Madden having him return the kick in the trailer. Anyways, like Wilson, Fields will have to prove himself before the Steelers will be willing to give him a contract extension and commit to him for a long time. He is still young and could develop into a special talent, which means the Steelers could potentially have a future franchise quarterback. Reports out of minicamp haven't been great involving Fields, which insider Ray Fittipaldo touched on during an appearance on 93.7 The Fan on Friday. He said, "I wouldn't make it a big deal in May and June, guys. I think you have to remember, number one, he's coming in and he's with a new team, he's with a new OC, a new QB coach. They're probably trying to tinker with his game a little bit before they throw him out there in July." Pittsburgh brought in a lot of new faces on the offensive coaching staff and a new quarterbacks coach in Tom Marth. Fields is facing the challenge of learning a new offense while also building healthy relationships with new teammates and coaches. The Steelers organization has the tools to help Fields reach his full potential. Arth has an impressive resume as he spent the last 2 seasons with the Los Angeles Chargers as a passing game specialist. He helped develop Justin Herbert, and he can bring those coaching tactics to Pittsburgh to help both Fields and Wilson. Fields will also benefit from a healthy running game, which will be the focal point of Smith's offense. He is also known for his time as the offensive coordinator of the Tennessee Titans, where he called the offense, which led to 2 most successful seasons of Derrick Henry's career. A successful running game makes life easier for a quarterback, especially for one with Fields' athleticism. Also, Fields himself spoke on the culture shift from moving from Chicago to Pittsburgh. Me being in 2 different places now, I realize you don't get this culture everywhere. I think Chicago, they're kind of changing the narrative now, but this has been the culture here for so many years. You can see it, just the way that we attack each and every day. Coach Mike Tomlin, he stays on us about it. So I just think just having that, reiterating that each and every day. As of today, there are now about 75 days until the Steelers are set to open their 2024 regular season on the road against the Atlanta Falcons. Within those next days, I expect the Steelers to spend at least $20 million more in cash on players and possibly even as much as $35 million more, depending on if they do trade for a big-time receiver. Anyways, moving on to something random, but something I want to talk about, the NFL has been talking about upgrading to an 18-game season now, and many players have been having mixed opinions on it. Pittsburgh Steelers safety DeShawn Elliott disagrees with the idea of adding another game, saying players don't get paid enough as is, which to me is pretty crazy, but from their perspective, I get it. They're not paying us enough money already, Elliott said via Brooke Pryor of ESPN. They're stingy with their money, so they want to make us play 18 games. As a player union, we should get way more money than what we're getting. And not just the top guys. And the thing is, they're not out here playing football. They're not out here running around, putting their bodies on the line. They don't care. All they care about is making money. But if you're going to make money on the top end, the bottom end has to make money too. Again, from a normal person's perspective, this is just absolutely crazy. But really, if you're not a top-end player in the league, after taxes, they really aren't making the amount of money to where it's like, money isn't even real. But I still think the fact that they even complain at all is pretty crazy. But they do work super hard, and once you get money, you just get used to it. So it's an interesting thing, but let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Also, let me know in the comments below what you think of the Steelers this year, if you think they should trade for Aiyuk, and whatever else you thought about this video. And if you made it to this point, thank you so much, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you would like to see next. And until then, I will see you all later.